But here is the deal. Your contestant from your team is going to try to get a score for your team. Now, if we actually take a moment to observe, what's your goal here? Lakin? As close to 0 as possible. So, Lakin, when you feel ready, hit that stop button and figure out what your score is. Oh, 2.4 for Lakin's team. Grab a seat. Whenever you're ready, Clayton. Oh, Clayton! You spend some time at the arcade, don't you, Clayton? Ooh, 2.7. There's a little bit of a lag, right?
Wait, do I go?
No, our
Ooh, score 3.
Mm-hmm.
2.4. Alright, who's our winner from our first round? It was Clayton?
Yeah.
Alright, every team send up a different competitor. Every team send up a different. Alright, let's go again. Let's see what happens here. On this round, I want you to write down the results. So you can wait till after, and we'll all do it together. Or you can do it while they go. 3.5 for Jimmy. 3.8 for Jackson. 1.9 for Liam.
Wait, Mr. Hudson, do we have to?
Ooh, 6 for Reese. Yes. Hey, so because we started class quick, I was excited to play the game.
Interruption with Benjamin Held, Heja Al-Jamali, and Isaac Lee. Please report to the Perry main office.
Everyone pull out your plan book. I want to see it.
Heja Al-Jamali and Isaac Lee.
Because I don't trust you all wrote down our homework because I started class too quick. That's on me. I was excited. But it's up here. Absolute value to find distance. Yep, it's always complex. I tell you otherwise. We're good, 'cause I don't have any left. I thought we gave you my only backup one. I have like last year's plan books. No. Yeah, they wouldn't have the right dates, but like I have old plan books. If he just wants to like rip out a couple pages.
I'll be doing Jenga today.
If he ignores the top part. Where's your plan book? Let me see it. Yes, sir. Plan book? Have you written down somewhere, even if we don't have the plan book? Nope, that is not what we write. We write what the actual name of the assignment is. Plan book? Guys, I don't mind if you abbreviate a bit. Like, you could write AVS instead of absolute. You could write VAL to find distance. You could do DIST, but you need to be able to know what the actual assignment is. You cannot just write KA. We've said this many times. So, I didn't see it yet. Get it back out. You're making this take longer than it needs to. Can I see it? That's not true. This is this week. That's not true. So it's up here, man. That's always where we look, because sometimes I'm slow getting to that one.
As long as you're writing it down somewhere. Okay, do we have it here? Some. Did you write it over here?
Where's your pencil? I didn't see Jackson's. I saw Lakin's. That's fine. Thank you. I've seen it now.
Looks beautiful. Like it frustrates us.
All right, so we're going to write these results down. I got to zoom in a little bit. So as you write these down, I gave you kind of like a table. I didn't do the horizontal lines for the table. But as you write these down on your paper, I want you to ask yourself, like, is there anything weird happening? So we're going to write down right here, right here, the number where you ended up stopping, and the score that you got for that number. Talk with your teammate about what you think is happening between the number and the score. What do you think is going on between the number and the score? So right here, we're writing down what happens up on the board. The number and the score. We're writing down both. Or we're chatting about what happened. What was going on. Alright, let's do this thing together since you're not doing it on your own. Let's first one. You gotta be left alone like a big boy. You gotta act like a big boy. Otherwise, you'll treat you like my nephew. He's full. When we asked him to kick all the stones off the deck, okay, just stand right there with him until he got every stone off the deck. You keep going on your own. I walk away and trust you to keep going. So I feel like a couple of these are kind of like what we would expect, but a couple of these are kind of weird. Reese, you notice anything up here that's kind of funky?
I said that like all of them are whole numbers, but the ones that weren't whole number originally stayed out of them.
So I love that you brought that up, but that is not the right vocab. So all of them are a certain type of
Not a
number.
whole number, but like not a negative.
Ooh, they're all positive, right? So they all... No, wait, why was that weird? Why'd you think that was funky?
Because the ones who were already positive stayed out of positive, and the ones who were negative just went to positive.
So the negatives became positive. The positive stayed positive. And our goal was to get the lowest score possible. Who got the 1.9 here? Was it Clayton's team again? Ooh, Liam's team now. We can come back to this later and keep seeing who can get the closest to 0. Clayton, you might take the record for the day because 0.5 was pretty darn good. But, okay, so all of our scores are positive. We were trying to get the lowest score possible. So, Prisha and Raphael were playing. You've got this on your paper. I want you to talk with your teammate about this. We got Prisha's result and Raphael's result. We got to figure out what score they each got. Go ahead and chat with each other about what score. So, and then who won? It's on your paper. You also got your teammates to talk to. Yes. Jackson, what did you guys say about Prisha's score?
3.
Just regular 3? All right, Josh, what did you guys say about Raphael's?
5.
So then who won here? Prisha, right? She's got the lower score. What game is this kind of like? What game are you looking for lower score? Golf, right? Or disc golf, or there's some other games where we do low score is the good thing. This in math is what we call absolute value. Now, just now I'm realizing I did not put your highlighters back on your table, so I might really quickly dump some highlighters at everybody's tables. I would highlight absolute value on your paper. I would highlight the words absolute value. So whatever color you're feeling today. Elijah, Jimmy, you guys know what I'm going to say? You know what I'm going to say, Jimmy? So we might want to listen then. So whatever color you're feeling today, I would highlight absolute value. Absolute value are these vertical bars these vertical bars next to a number. That now that we're doing so much on the computer, I feel like I need to show you, if you're trying to type a vertical bar, my keyboard only has so much cord. Literally, I can't get it. Okay. We'll move my camera. It's right above the enter key. The vertical bar on your keyboard is right there. It's like the shift feature or the secondary. If you're trying to type absolute value, that's how we do it. But so here's what we noticed from the game. All right, so it's using these bars. Even if we had landed on -2, our score became +2. Chat with your teammate and go ahead and jot down an idea right there. What do you think is happening? What is that absolute value doing? What effect are those bars having? And when the bars disappear, what happens? What do you think they're asking us? What do you think they're doing? This would be funnier when there's a class this afternoon that, like, but there's nobody over there. So this is a funny poster, but it's not really that effective at telling us what's going on. Absolute value of -8, they tell us, becomes +8. But does anyone want to take a chance at like what you think absolute value is actually asking us? Lakin? So, Lakin is saying negatives are becoming positives. So, negative numbers became positive. And that was, I'm going to use some color coding here. And if we had a negative inside of the bars, what if we had a positive inside of the bars? So, if we had a positive inside of the bars, it became positive. Now you said it's giving us the absolute value of that number. What is, like, I agree that it's becoming positive, but what do you think it's giving us? If -2 is 2, -8 is 8. Anybody else want to take a try at it? It's not just Lakin's math. Lakin? Ooh, Lakin is making a gander. Is this, because our answer came out to be 2, is this just asking us the distance from, if I'm writing it, you should probably be writing it. We don't take notes just for fun. We take them so we can come back to them later. All right, flip to the back and chat with your neighbor about what you see there. Chat with your partner. Give you like 30 seconds to chat with each other. What do you think? Who's right and who's wrong? Are they both right? Are they both wrong? All right, I know. I guess I should have given you maybe like 10 more seconds. I know you can't do this on your paper, but I can do this up here. So I want to know, Caroline, where do you want to put this point? Just to do some testing. -3, sure. And then what's the absolute value of -3 come out to be? +3. Jimmy, where do you want to put this point? What do you want to test out? We're still at the top of the back. You guys can't move this point, so we're right up here. You guys can't move it, but I can, so we can test some things. Just give me a number. One that we can get to. So between 5? Sure. Positive 5. What's the absolute value of that? 5. Liam, give me a number you want me to drop this at. Do a little test. 4.2. Okay. Still comes out to be 4.2. Kind of anticlimactic. What if we drop this at 0? Oh, it's just 0. So Elijah, Prisha says she thinks it makes every number the opposite. Raphael says he thinks it's how far it is from 0. Who do you think is right?
Neither. Neither.
Notice how I asked Elijah, and neither of you are Elijah. Why are you saying both? What defends Prisha kind of being right? Because did this become the opposite? 1.3 and 1.3 are opposites. Did this become the opposite? Yeah, so guys, what Prisha said happens. But does that mean she's always right? So Raphael, how far x is from 0? How far is negative 3 away from 0?
-3.
Distance cannot be negative. How far am I away from the door? Like 20 feet maybe? Maybe 25? How far away am I from the door? The door. Still the same place. Like 20, 25 feet. How far away am I from the door?
50 feet.
Like, still about the same distance. I just moved over here, but I'm about... Distance is always positive. You can't undo, like I can't take back steps that I've taken. It doesn't work that way. Right? That's not how life works. We haven't figured out time travel. So, whose thinking is correct here? It's Raphael. It is distance from 0. Now, is Prisha sometimes correct? Yeah. When is Prisha correct that it does the opposite? When does that happen?
When it's a negative?
Ooh, yeah, when we start at a negative. So, Prisha's not necessarily wrong. When our number starts at a negative, then it becomes its opposite because we need things to be positive. You might also want to make a note here that distance has to be positive. And it could be as simple as writing distance equals positive. I think that pen is a goner. All right, so take a moment with your partner. Fill in this table. Way to brag. Okay, go ahead and try the puzzles down there then. If you want to brag about working ahead, try those puzzles. Now, I don't mind it. What I care about is that you didn't choose to do this first, and you didn't do it for me. I need you to grow up and do what's asked of you before you do it. If you do that, I need always have a good relationship. You'll fight against me, I'll get really tired. Okay? I need you to put more effort. Elias, can you help me out? Absolute value of negative 1.4. We've now figured out what we're looking for is distance from 0. So what will this become? Just positive 1.4, right? And I make my ones a little fancy. What major? What about the absolute value of 2? Just 2, right? Because how far away is 2? So that brings us to Isaiah's statement. Well, okay. Absolute value of negative 2 is the same as absolute value of 2. Clayton, what's your thought about Isaiah's statement? Because absolute value really means what? Be careful. Distance from 0, right? So, how far is negative 2 away from 0? It's 2, right? How far is positive 2 away from 0? It's 2, right? So, like, both of these are 2 away. Yeah, Isaiah's right. So now I got a challenge for you. I want us to try to make a true statement here, and this is on your paper, right? This is just right down here, puzzle 1. We can only use these numbers, and you can only use each one once. So obviously the puzzles get harder as you only have enough numbers to fill in. But I already saw a hand up. It was either Elias or Major. Did one of you already have a hand up? Do you think you already have a solution here? All right, well, help me out. What do you want me to put in? Positive 2 in here. Okay. So what is the absolute value of 2? 2. So you're saying 2 is greater than negative 2. Yeah? Do we agree? I definitely do. Ooh. For this one, I bet there are. You want to try another one? Tell me what to change. So you said do that? Ooh, hold on. This? Or did you want positive 1? Reese is saying this. Do we agree with the absolute value of negative 2 is greater than well, what's the absolute value of negative 2? It's positive 2, right? Let's not spend too much time on this. Let's go to the trickier one. Oh, come on, Jackson. You can do this one. You got to fill in all 4 boxes. But you can only use each number once. You can only use each number once. Take a moment. Think about it with your partners. Talk it out. If you have something, you're making my job harder. Unless you want to make my job harder and make me lose my voice, please stop making extra noise. What's that? Ah, yeah, any track stuff, right? Josh, please go back extra nice. It just makes things feel more chaotic than they are. All right, Owen, do you want to try to help me out?
Well, I did. For the top one, I did 4 is greater than 3.
Like positive 4 here?
Yeah.
Okay, you got to slow down so I can make sure I'm doing it with you. Okay. Now wait. I'm already worried because there's an equal sign in the bottom. I don't know that the numbers you've left me are going to be able to become equal.
Oh wait, I did it wrong. I repeated numbers.
Ah, you repeated numbers. Yeah, guys, I wrote this on your paper. I said this multiple. We can only use each number once. Yeah, when you don't listen to directions, you might fall in a trap. Major? -4 there, +4 in the beginning. Now, how did you know you needed to use those for the bottom? Why did you start with the bottom? Because, we had 3, 4, -4, and 5. I didn't make 2 of those equal. Can I make 3 and 5 equal to each other? No. Can I make 4 and 4? Yeah, because what's absolute value of -4? +4, right? So are these equal now?
Yes.
So now all Major has to do is be careful that he puts the bigger one where it goes and the smaller one where it goes. So Major, tell me what you want to do. 3 on the left. Okay. Is 3 greater than -5?
Yes.
Yeah. Now wait. I heard a couple people like realize Major wasn't doing what they did. Is this true?
Yeah.
So actually, the top one we've got options. Your third puzzle is going to be your more difficult one if you choose to try it. But I'm moving on because I got a couple other things to teach you guys. So, here's the deal. That's not the only application of absolute value. Hey guys, do I need to separate you two? Just tell me right now. I got 12 minutes left and I can't deal with you just making faces at each other for the next 12 minutes. Do you need to move? You, Jimmy and Elijah, do you need to move? Then I need you to act a little bit more like 7th graders. Cool? The first reason we use absolute value is to talk about distance from 0. But then the second reason is distance between any 2 numbers. You might want to grab a piece of graph paper since you're probably out of space on this paper. So I'm going to take a moment, probably like at least 30 seconds, to let you grab graph paper if you want, whether it's in your binder or back there.
Where are you gonna write it down? You're gonna write it down, Elijah, regardless. You better see if you have space. What happened to yours? One of you gets graph paper for both. Yeah.
Alright, so math is really all about trying to do less. And I know you probably don't believe me, but math is all about trying to be efficient. So when we have 2 different numbers, like let's say 10 and 5, how can we figure out how far away 10 and 5 are? You're focusing on what you're doing right now, not what I'm saying. Can you pick up a pencil to be ready to write? How could I find the distance between 10 and 5? I should get my cards back out. But Jackson, while I'm getting back to these, how do I find between 10 and 5? I could. I don't know that I need to do all that. You're right. I could. I'm trying to work less hard right now. I'm trying to make things easier. Yeah, just +10, +5. So, but listen to the question I'm asking. How far is 10 away from 5? How did you know that? Not divided. Why are you dividing when we're talking about how far? How can I do this? Lakin? We do subtraction. Right? So what about how far is 10 away from 3? How far is 10 away from 3? 7. But what if I accidentally do the subtraction in the wrong order? How far is 10 away from 3? It's negative. This doesn't work. That's not true. Distance can't be negative if we're talking distance. So this is why we use absolute value. So now what you should write down is the absolute value of A minus B is the same thing as the absolute value of B minus A.
Where do you write that down?
On your graph paper that you just got out. I mean, if you had space left on your other paper, but I don't think we had much space left. Jackson, we're writing this down on our graph paper, so we actually have space. You don't, though. Not space to be nice and actually use this as notes. I'm going to wait for you to do what I'm asking. If that means the next 7 minutes is us awkwardly waiting for you, that can be what it is. Jackson, part of what I'm trying to reinforce is sometimes we just have to do what's asked of us. I'm sorry if you're upset about this, but this is what's happening. Yeah, guys, it's second quarter. If you can't tell, our expectations are upping a little bit. You're farther away from 6th grade now. Sorry if we don't always make you happy. We're not here to be your friends. Hopefully we can have a good time while we're here. But if we can't, we have to learn. We have to learn. That's it. So, if we have two numbers that we're trying to find how far apart they are, positive, negative, doesn't matter what they are, we can use absolute value. And I wanted to pull up a question that I think is going to weird you guys out. Read this problem for a moment. Yeah, because you've probably never heard of a composting toilet before.
It's not why
Not a skibbity toilet. A composting toilet is what? Anyone know? Anyone want to tell us why you would use a composting toilet? Yeah, no? Major, was that a hand or no? Lakin, do you know? Right, but why not a regular toilet? If you don't have water. So let's say you're going camping in an RV and you might not have a water connection. Or you don't want to waste the water that you have in the giant jug in your RV. So a lot of RVs or things like that will have composting toilets. Because if you put sawdust on it and you get the natural breakdown to start happening, it doesn't really smell. Because it just soaks in the smell kind of. That's why you use the sawdust. All right, but I figured that question would kind of weird you guys out. Read it and think about how we're going to figure out how far away is it. So take a moment to read it. I'm going to snap it so I can actually write on top of it.
Miss Benson,
Yes.
I said what because this whole because it said the distance between the toilet seat and the bottom of the pit.
Yeah, it's like the poop pit. Yeah, the poop pit. Yeah, that's like a Boy Scout camp. Our house is there, except we didn't have sawdust. It was just dirt. They would come and pump it out. They acted like a porta potty. They just had the blue liquid in the bottom. All right, what do we know? Caroline, tell me one thing we know that I should highlight up here. Absolutely. And below the ground, would we be thinking positive or negative? Negative, so that's negative 1.5. Jimmy, give me something else we know and might be highlightable.
The pit.
We already talked about the pit. What else do we know that we might need?
Sawdust.
Does that have anything to do with math?
No. toilet seat is 0.4 meters above ground.
Above the ground, so is that going to make us think positive or negative? Positive, so there we get positive 0.4, and they ask us how far, what is the distance between? So, hold on. How far is 1.5 away from 0? Okay, so we get a 1.5 from over here. How far is 0.4 above 0? 0.4, so we get 0.4 here. How far would they be if I combine them? Yeah, 1.9, or, and here's what you can write down on your paper. Here's what we can do. We can do A minus B or B minus A. But watch our two options. I could do negative 1.5 minus 0.4, or I could switch it around and do 0.4 minus negative 1.5. What happens when we write a minus a negative? Somebody not Lakin, because he's running the whole class today. What, Josh? Minus a negative. So, I don't know about you, but negative 1.5 minus 0.4, and then we'll do absolute. Or I could just do addition. I think just doing addition feels a whole lot easier. So when we have a positive and a negative, if you do positive minus negative, this actually becomes addition. And what's 0.4 plus 1.5? 1.9, and what's the absolute value of 1.9? 1.9. Okay, guys, this is why I started making my ones a little fancier, because absolute value bars look like ones. Two pieces of two options for solving that problem. Make your absolute value bars tall and thick so you can tell these are not ones, or draw them with a little bit class. Yeah, a hat and some shoes. All right, so here's another one you'll see on your homework. 2.6 meters above ground. Are we thinking positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. 7/5 meters below ground. You thinking positive or negative? All right, so we got positive 2.6. That's yellow. And negative 7/5. Which of these show, take a moment to think, don't try to rush to an answer. Which of these show the distance between positive 2.6 and negative 7/5? Which, actually, I need to shuffle up and write. Liam, you get first, but then I got to shuffle up and restart. So, Liam, can you give me one of those that shows us the distance? We want A minus B, or we could do B minus A. So it really doesn't matter which number we start with. You can choose either. A? Why are you saying A? Yeah, you're right. It started with negative 7/5, started with this number, minus the other number. A is totally an option then. Elias, you thinking B or C? We got 2.6 minus 7/5 or 2.6 plus 7/5. Let's think this through together real quick, just to verify, because we're new at this. We're going to start with 2.6, right? We're still engaging with each other. You don't need to, start turning to... So let's start with 2.6. Everyone stick with me. That's our first number we're going to start with. Then we subtract the other number. We subtract, what's the other number? Negative 7/5. What happens when you minus a negative? It's really plus a positive, meaning B is our other option, because this is really going to turn into addition. So please do that homework tonight so I can check on how we're doing and what problems we need to go over. You don't need to get to an 80% tonight, but you need to try it tonight and give me some data. So we can talk about that tomorrow in class. All right, have a great day, guys. If you want to play real fast on your way out. You get to go once, that's it. You get one shot. You want to see? Yeah, Mrs. Fisher might beat all of you guys.
I
got 1.9.
Oh, 1.9!
got 0.9. Trying to get smaller.
Anyone else? Real quick on the way out? Oh, didn't quite work.
Oh.
Anticipating that leg. Then we gotta go. You guys gotta hurry because we gotta get to class. All right, I gotta start it over for you, Liam.
See ya, Mr. Hudson.
See you, Mrs. Fisher. Have a great. Oh, whoa! Liam got 0. Way to end on a high note. All right, get out of here. We're not gonna beat that. I mean, you can hit it, but we're not gonna beat it. All right. Have a great day, guys.